Have you ever wondered if that one innocent fruit after dinner could be the very reason you're waking up again and again every night? It may sound far-fetched, but for many people just like you, it's quietly disrupting sleep without warning. You finish your evening meal, maybe enjoy a slice of orange or a glass of juice thinking it'll help you relax, only to find your body restless and your bladder calling the shots. In this gentle conversation, I'll walk you through 5 simple fruits that may help calm your bladder and bring back peaceful, uninterrupted nights. And 5 others, fruits you might be eating regularly, that could be doing the opposite. These aren't drastic changes, but they may offer the kind of relief you've quietly been wishing for. And before we dive in, I'd love to know, where are you tuning in from? What time of day is it for you right now? Feel free to share in the comments. I read each one with care. Your presence here means more than you know. If this message resonates with you, consider subscribing so you and your loved ones never miss simple, heart-guided health tips. There's a kind of quiet frustration many people in their 60s and 70s carry, the repeated, tiring need to get up just to urinate at night. You finally lie down, ready for rest. But then, 2 hours in, you're awake. Again. And sometimes, there's hardly even any urine. Why does this happen more after we cross 60? The answer lies deep in the natural shifts of our aging body. Our kidneys, once so efficient, begin to ease into a slower rhythm, especially after sunset. And our bladder, it becomes more sensitive, more easily triggered, even by a small amount of urine. What used to feel like a mild urge now feels like an emergency. And that's where food quietly enters the story. What you eat and drink in the evening can either soothe or silently agitate your bladder. Citrus fruits, spicy pickles, even that extra cup of chai can make things worse without you realizing. These foods aren't harmful to a younger body, but for someone in their 50s, 60s, or beyond, they can turn the urine acidic, creating a gentle burning that unsettles a sensitive bladder. That's why choosing the right evening foods is more than just healthy, it's healing. One fruit, one drink can mean the difference between sleeping soundly or waking up every 90 minutes. The good news? With just a few mindful shifts, deep comfort is possible. Because sometimes better sleep doesn't start in your bedroom, it starts on your dinner plate. 5 simple fruits that can quietly bring peace to your nights. For many families, choosing a fruit after dinner feels like second nature. Maybe a sweet banana, a few slices of watermelon, or a bit of ripe papaya. It seems harmless enough. But here's something most people over 60 never hear. Certain fruits do more than just satisfy your sweet tooth. They can gently support your bladder, ease nighttime urgency, and bring back the kind of sleep your body deeply craves. You see, as we age, our body doesn't work quite the same way it used to. Digestion slows. The bladder becomes more sensitive, and even something as small as a piece of fruit can either soothe or stir discomfort. But there's good news. Today, I'd like to share 5 fruits that have quietly helped many elders, just like you, sleep better and wake up less during the night, all through nature's quiet support. Let's begin with a familiar friend, the banana. It's one of the most trusted fruits across cultures, and for good reason. You may even remember your mother or grandmother saying, "Eat a banana at night, it cools the stomach." That old wisdom holds more truth than you might think. Bananas are naturally low in acid, which makes them gentle on your bladder lining. For someone who wakes up multiple times to use the bathroom, that alone can bring noticeable relief. But there's more. A single medium banana holds around 400 milligrams of potassium, a mineral that helps relax the bladder muscles and reduce those sudden, unnecessary urges. In plain words, it helps your bladder stay calm even when it's not quite full, so your sleep isn't interrupted. And for many seniors dealing with blood pressure or low energy, bananas offer a light, nourishing boost without adding heat to the body. The best time to enjoy one? Either mid-evening, around 5 p.m., or about an hour after dinner. Just be sure it's ripe, not overripe, and avoid eating it cold. Chilled fruit can upset digestion, especially for older stomachs. Now let's talk about papaya, or pepita, as some of us affectionately remember it being called at home. For many years, papaya has quietly sat on the sidelines, labeled as a digestion fruit. But this bright orange gift from nature has much more to offer, especially if you're over 60 and struggling with bloating or nighttime bathroom visits. Papaya contains an enzyme called papain. Think of it like a gentle helper that breaks down the heavier parts of your dinner, making digestion smoother and lighter. Why does that matter for your bladder? Because when your belly feels light, your bladder feels less pressure. Less pressure means fewer urgent wake-up calls at midnight. There's an older gentleman I recall from California, used to have hearty meals late at night with pickles and rich curries. But when he swapped that out for a bowl of light rice and a slice of soft, ripe papaya, his belly felt calmer and his sleep improved almost overnight. Papaya also helps balance the acid in your system. That means your urine becomes less irritating to your sensitive bladder. If you've ever felt a mild burning or urgency after dinner, this one change might be what your body's been asking for. Try a slice about the size of your palm after dinner. Make sure it's ripe, with that beautiful deep orange color, and not too hard or overly mushy. Keep it simple, and your body will thank you. Now let's move on to a fruit that doesn't get much credit, but quietly supports your comfort in big ways: the pear. Soft, naturally sweet, and gentle on the bladder, pears are one of the best choices for those dealing with both constipation and nighttime urination. Why? Because the intestines and bladder are more connected than most people realize. When the gut feels full or gassy, it can press on the bladder, making it send unnecessary signals. Pears contain a compound called sorbitol, a natural sugar alcohol that softly draws water into the intestines, keeping things moving without causing cramps or urgency. In simpler words, when your belly is happy, your bladder stays quiet. There's a quiet wisdom passed down in many communities. If your stomach rests, your sleep rests too. A medium pear in the late afternoon, around 3 or 4 p.m., can ease evening bloating and reduce the chances of false bladder alarms at night. Don't peel off all the skin. It holds fiber your gut needs. But be sure to wash it well and chew slowly. And now let's revisit a classic: watermelon. At first glance, it seems counterintuitive. Watermelon is, after all, mostly water. So wouldn't it make you pee more? Yes, if you eat it too late or in large amounts. But if timed right, it can actually help reduce irritation in the bladder and support better urinary health. The magic lies in a red pigment called lycopene, a powerful antioxidant that supports prostate health in men and calms inflammation for everyone. For older adults, especially those with mild prostate swelling or sensitivity in the urinary tract, watermelon can be a soothing, healing fruit. The trick is when you eat it. Enjoy a small bowl, about a cup before 2 p.m., never after sunset. Eat it plain, at room temperature, and don't pair it with dairy or mix it with other fruits. Eaten right, it's not just refreshing, it's protective. But eaten late, it might be the reason your bladder stirs you awake when all you wanted was a peaceful night. Now let's take a quiet moment to appreciate guava, amrud, as many of us fondly remember from childhood trees or family gardens. It's a fruit that often goes unnoticed, yet holds powerful healing potential, especially when chosen just right, slightly firm, not too ripe, and never paired with dairy. Guava is rich in vitamin C, but here's the key difference. It's much lower in citric acid than oranges or lemons, which makes it gentler on your bladder. And for someone in their 60s or 70s, that gentleness can make all the difference. Guava also contains natural compounds that help reduce minor inflammation in the urinary tract, a small but meaningful step toward uninterrupted sleep. There's a story I once heard from a retired school teacher in Southern California. She began eating one guava around 4 p.m., a few hours before dinner. No salt, no spices, just the fruit, peeled if the skin was tough. Within days, she noticed fewer nighttime awakenings and less discomfort during urination. That one habit gave her back something many of us long for: deep, healing rest. If you try guava, keep it simple and keep it early. Mid-afternoon is best. Don't mix it with milk or creamy desserts, as some traditions might suggest. Let its quiet power work naturally. So, my friend, we've now met 5 humble fruits: banana, papaya, pear, watermelon, and guava. Each one offers its own kind of support, not with force, but with nature's quiet design. These are not superfoods in the trendy sense. They're everyday fruits that carry wisdom in every bite. And as we grow older, we begin to realize lasting health doesn't always come from a prescription or a lab test. Sometimes it's sitting right there in a bowl on your dining table, waiting to be chosen with care. But now let's gently shift toward caution. You see, many of the habits we formed in our younger years, like reaching for fruit after dinner, may not serve us the same way in our 60s or beyond. It may feel light, it may feel healthy, but for many older adults, especially those waking up multiple times each night, this habit could be quietly disturbing your rest. Because what we eat after sunset doesn't just affect digestion, it also influences how often your bladder interrupts your sleep. And while fruit seems innocent, not all of them are as gentle as they appear. So let me walk you through 5 fruits that, if eaten too late in the day, might be the reason you're waking up at 1 a.m. or 3 a.m. with that all too familiar urgency. We'll begin with 2 popular favorites, orange and sweet lime, Mozambi. In many homes, a cold glass of citrus juice after dinner is almost a ritual, especially during warmer months. It feels light, refreshing, even cleansing. But what many elders don't realize is that these fruits are packed with citric acid. Natural, yes, but still harsh on a sensitive bladder. One gentleman from Houston told me how he used to drink orange juice every evening at 8 p.m., hoping it would help with digestion. Instead, he found himself up 3 or 4 times a night, restless and uncomfortable. Once he moved his juice to lunchtime, the change was almost immediate. He slept longer, deeper. Here's why. Citrus lowers the pH of your urine, making it more acidic. And when acidic urine passes through an aging bladder, it can create a burning or tingling sensation that triggers false alarms, making your brain think it's time to go, even when your bladder isn't full. But that doesn't mean you have to give up oranges or sweet lime altogether. Just enjoy them earlier, ideally before 2 p.m., when your digestion is strongest and your bladder has time to settle before bedtime. Now let's turn to a fruit that looks as cheerful as a summer vacation, pineapple. Juicy, golden, and sweet, it's often the star of fruit salads and a favorite in many homes. But what lies beneath its sunny flavor may surprise you. Pineapple contains a natural compound called bromelain, a powerful enzyme that helps break down protein and supports digestion. That part is wonderful. But here's the thing. Bromelain doesn't stop at digestion. It also wakes up your bowels, sometimes more than you need, especially at night. An older woman I once spoke with in San Jose used to have a few pineapple slices after dinner. She hoped it would ease her constipation, and it did. But soon after, she noticed something new. Pressure in her lower belly and sudden urges to urinate around midnight, even when her bladder wasn't really full. The reason is simple. When your intestines become overactive, especially while you're lying down, the movement inside your belly gently presses against nearby organs, and your bladder, already more sensitive with age, can mistake that pressure as a signal to empty. That's how a harmless fruit can lead to restless, broken sleep. If you enjoy sweet fruit after dinner, try something easier on your system, like a soft slice of papaya or a mellow pear. Both are soothing, low acid, and far more bladder-friendly after sunset. Now let's talk about grapes, those tiny, tempting snacks we often keep chilled in the fridge for a light evening treat. They may look innocent, but for many seniors, especially those with slower digestion, grapes can quietly stir up a storm. You see, grapes are packed with natural sugars, and when eaten late or after a full meal, they can start to ferment slightly in your gut. That mild fermentation creates gas, bloating, and pressure. One retired teacher from Orange County shared how much he loved black grapes, but noticed he'd feel uncomfortably full and wakeful on nights he snacked on them. That pressure in the belly can push against the bladder and create a false sense of urgency, making you get up once, twice, or even more during the night. And the skins? They're a little tougher to digest as we age, which means even more gas and heaviness if your digestion is already slow. If you still enjoy grapes, you don't need to give them up. Just enjoy them early in the day, before lunch is ideal. Peel the skins if you can, eat them at room temperature, and avoid mixing them with yogurt or milk-based dishes, which can slow digestion even more. Because sometimes, even a small shift in timing can mean the difference between waking up tired and waking up rested. Here's one more quiet troublemaker hiding in plain sight: citrus juice. Think of those vibrant blends, orange, lemon, maybe a bit of kiwi, all mixed together into what feels like a light, healthy refreshment. Each fruit by itself may be harmless in small amounts, but when combined, especially after sunset, they can create a perfect storm for your bladder. These fruits are naturally acidic, And when juiced, that acid becomes concentrated, delivering a fast, powerful hit to your system. And if you're over 60, that matters. Acidic urine can irritate an aging bladder, setting off a cycle of false urges, frequent trips to the bathroom, and disrupted sleep. Many people believe juice is lighter than eating the fruit. But the truth is, juice often hits your system faster and harder, with more acid, more sugar, and less fiber to slow it down. That's why it can quietly steal your rest without you ever realizing the cause. If you're looking for something refreshing in the evening, try a gentler choice, a warm cup of water with a soft pear slice, or a few watermelon cubes enjoyed earlier in the day. These small swaps hydrate without triggering your bladder's alarm bells. Now let's talk about a fruit that wears many hats, the tomato. Though often treated as a vegetable, tomatoes are technically fruit, and they show up in nearly every kitchen. Rich in flavor, full of color, but raw tomatoes, especially at night, can quietly disrupt your sleep. Why? Because tomatoes contain something called oxalic acid, a compound that can increase tiny crystals in the urine and irritate the bladder lining. For someone with a sensitive urinary tract, even a little of this irritation can lead to more nighttime urgency. There's a couple I once met in Garden Grove who shared how much they loved their evening tomato onion salad. It was part of their nightly routine, but once they replaced the raw tomatoes with lightly steamed carrots and beans, they started sleeping through the night. No medicine, no supplements, just a quiet shift in habit. If you love tomatoes, you don't have to stop eating them. Just cook them into your evening dishes instead of slicing them raw. This one mindful step can protect your sleep without sacrificing taste. So, dear friend, here's what I hope you'll take from this. Even the most innocent-looking fruits, orange, pineapple, grapes, citrus juices, or raw tomato, can disturb your sleep when eaten at the wrong time. They all have their place, but not after sunset. Because at this stage of life, health isn't just about what you eat. It's also about when you eat. Timing matters. Awareness matters. And sometimes a peaceful night doesn't come from a pill. It comes from skipping just one fruit after dinner. You deserve deep rest. You deserve mornings without grogginess. And that may begin, not in your medicine cabinet, but in a small bowl of fruit chosen with care and with love for your future self. In many homes, eating fruit after dinner feels like a symbol of health, a quiet reward after a long day, or a simple comfort between supper and rest. But as we grow older, it's not just what we eat that matters, it's when we eat it. Ayurvedic wisdom tells us something that modern science now supports. After sunset, the digestive fire, what ancient healers called Agni, begins to soften. Your body becomes slower, more delicate in how it absorbs and eliminates food. And for those of us past 60, that shift is even more pronounced. Fruits high in water, like watermelon, citrus, or grapes, can feel refreshing. But if eaten late, they may lead to fluid buildup, extra pressure on the bladder, or even a restless, acidic belly. Instead of bringing comfort, they might quietly stir the very discomfort you're trying to avoid. Our digestive system, like the rest of us, grows more sensitive with time. If fruits are eaten too close to dinner, or worse, right alongside it, they can begin to ferment slightly during sleep, causing bloating, gas, or false signals from the bladder. But there's good news. Timing alone can make all the difference. Hydrating fruits like watermelon or orange are best enjoyed before 5 p.m., when your body still has time to process them gently. Meanwhile, calming choices like banana, pear, or papaya are safer to eat in the evening. But give yourself a 2-hour window before bed so your digestion can settle and your bladder stays quiet. And most of all, don't eat fruit with your dinner. Let your main meal finish its work first. Then, if your body still wants something light, reach for fruit later, gently with care. Because at this stage of life, your body isn't asking for more. It's asking for better. Better timing, better rest, and a better understanding of what brings peace, not pressure. You see, our bodies begin sending quieter signals as we age. Sleep becomes lighter, digestion slows, the bladder grows more sensitive, and even something as small as a slice of fruit at the wrong time can change how deeply you rest or how often you wake. Many fruits are good by nature, but not all are good for you at night. True wellness doesn't just come from knowing what's healthy. It comes from learning what's healthy for you in this moment of life. I remember hearing from a lovely retired teacher, Meena G, from San Diego. She used to drink a glass of orange juice after dinner, thinking it was good for digestion. But every night she'd wake at 1 a.m. and again at 3, tired, restless, searching for deeper sleep. Then, one day, she swapped her juice for a small slice of soft papaya at 7 p.m., room temperature, ripe and gentle. That night, she slept 6 hours straight. No medicine, no routine change, just one kind, mindful shift. That's the power of listening to your body with love. There's no pressure here, no rules, just gentle awareness. So today, I invite you not to overhaul your whole life, but to try one small change. Swap acidic fruits like orange or pineapple for calming ones like banana or papaya in the evening. Do it for just 3 days. Watch your sleep. Notice your bladder. And see how your mornings feel. Because you deserve true rest. You deserve quiet nights. And you deserve to wake up feeling refreshed, not worn out by the night before. Now that you know which fruits to keep close and which to gently let go after sunset, the choice is in your hands. And sometimes, one wise choice today becomes a peaceful habit tomorrow. This wasn't just a talk about fruit. It was about tuning into your body with softness, with respect, with patience. We've learned that the right fruit, taken at the right time, can be more than just food. It can be your invitation to deep sleep, to gentler mornings, and to a life that feels lighter with each new day. If anything in this video touched you, if you saw a part of your story in these words, I'd be honored to hear from you. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments, or simply write the word hope if that's what you're feeling right now. And if you found this helpful, please subscribe and tap the bell icon so you and your loved ones never miss a message meant for peace. Share this with someone who might need it too, a friend, a neighbor, a family member who deserves better sleep. Until we meet again, may your nights be quiet, your sleep be deep, and your heart be light.